Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this due time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you yesterday? Yesterday was Wow Wednesday, and we got started with our girlfriend Vivian and her socially conscious segment, and we talked about that cell phone ban. Yes, it is back in the news again, what they're going to do with these kiddies in these schools and these cell phones. I was thinking, when we were going to school, they sure didn't have none of this to worry about. No, whether we were going to take cell phones to school or not. And man, these are dilemmas now. Well, listen, here's the interesting part. You've got over 60% of Democrats that support the ban. You have 62% of Republicans that support the ban. But it's going to cost over $13 million to satisfy this issue. Can you imagine that? Man, let me tell you something. Why in the world are we worrying about cell phones in the school that's going to cost us $13 million? So listen, it's going to cost $13 million to keep the phones out of the classrooms. Now, can you imagine that? Ooh, when I tell you we got some dilemmas. Because when it costs that kind of money just to keep the phones on the outside of the school. Well, last we heard, the reason why it's going to cost that much is because they are looking to get like these certain bags to put the cell phones in. Well, someone in the chat room said yesterday that their high school nephew who's in high school, they put him in Ziploc bags. Listen, I say Ziploc paper bag, brown paper bag that is, invisible bag, whatever it is. Let the parents pay for it. Yes, get one bag that you give this child each day. You don't even got to worry about where you're going to store the bags. You bring your bag to school, you turn that bag in, it's got your name and serial number on it, and call it a day. When you get ready to leave, we're going to give you back your bag, you take your business, and you go on home or wherever you going to go. So it wouldn't cost us all that kind of money. Well, that's my little pea brain, and I ain't even getting paid for that. And you ain't got to pay me $13 million for that thought, man. So I don't know. This is the kind of stuff we utilizing money on. Well, Cuomo just might be the one that makes the difference, because Hochul is the one who's backing that plan. Yes, she's backing that plan. She's the governor right now. Well, Governor Cuomo is throwing his hat back in the ring for the, politicians, and he wants to become mayor. And they're going to give him a hard time. He's going to get a run for his money. Well, if you remember, he was the governor before, and he had to leave for allegations. Now, he left, and then they come to find out that the allegations weren't even true. Well, baby, you better believe that they are going to drag up everything you ever did and anything they thought you did. So the nursing home issue during the pandemic was the issue. They claimed that there were more deaths that went on than he registered. I don't know whether it's true or not. I don't know if it's true or not, but They got that out there. So again, whether it's true or whether it's false, some people say, listen, he lied one time or he did something the first time to draw attention to him. Why would we put him back in office again? Listen, all I'm saying is I ain't ever voting for Mayor Adams. So I don't care if they put a roach up in there. I'm not voting for Mayor Adams. I'm sorry. So I don't know whether they bring up Cuomo's nursing home scandal, any other scandal. I need to see who the candidates are because he sure gonna get a hard time. So I don't know what anybody gonna do. Homelessness in California is definitely off to a crazy start. Yeah. And the reason why I say start is not because homelessness has just started, but they just started this new thing where they're going to give the homeless people citations. And after the third citation, they're going to arrest them and put them in jail if they refuse to go to a shelter. Now they're going to evaluate them. They're going to be fair, and they're going to evaluate these people to see if they have some type of mental illness. And if they don't, then I guess they'll proceed with the citation and jail thing. If they do, they didn't say they were going to put them in a facility forever, but they're going to give them some medication, hope they take the medication and send them on their way, but they don't have to go to a shelter. So this is all because a homeless person may not want to go to a shelter. And in San Diego, they are tired of it. Well, baby, this is some new stuff right here. Because we were really trying to figure this thing out yesterday. You are going to give a homeless person a citation. And how you going to catch up with them? You going to go back to their stomping grounds? I don't know. Yeah, the Due Time crew and the Due Time viewers had some questions that needed to be answered. So I don't know if this citation thing gonna work because there were some valid questions that hit the floor yesterday. Baby. I tell you. Ooh, that's just some of the stuff we talked about yesterday. So if you just happen to miss Wow Wednesday here on this Due Time with Pastor Steph, you want to go back and you want to watch that right here. It's right here. You got to just go back a day. Now, if you can't watch, but you can listen, make sure you check us out on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, FeedSpot, anywhere you can catch up on some streaming. Yeah, we're there. I promise you, we're there. Okay? All righty. Well, today is Therapeutic Thursday, and we are going straight into the end of the week. Yeah, we got one more day, y'all. God has brought us safely on this side of the week. We're going to say thank you to him for doing so. And we're about to get this party started. So go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell anybody that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere because we will be right back.
This is Hazel Scott. They virtually tried to erase her from history, but her contributions are undeniable. Here we go. Born June 11th, 1920. Of course, she's a Gemini. I mean, she's playing two pianos. She was deemed a musical prodigy, already playing the piano and singing at age 3, and was offered several scholarships at Juilliard and a private instructor who already deemed her a genius at age 8. What were you doing? I was trying not to pee in the bed. Anyway, by age 16, she was performing all over and crafted her own sound by taking classical pieces from Bach and Mozart, speeding them up and adding syncopation with a left hand that was faster than a flash. By the way, not only did she refuse to perform in segregated clubs, the only roles available for black women at the time were criminals, prostitutes, and maids. Hazel Scott had in her contract where she would play none of those roles. She'd only play one, herself. She had final say in both her costume and music. But get this, on the set of this film, the women were put in soiled aprons to send their men off to war, and Hazel was like, no, that ain't realistic. The producers was like, mind your business, ain't got nothing to do with you. She was like, yes it do, I'm going on strike. 3 days later, the producers finally agreed and put the women in beautiful floral dresses. But they blacklisted Hazel. So she was like, cool, I'm gonna marry Adam Clayton Powell. Yes, that one, Mr. 7th Avenue himself. And she became the first black person in history to have their own TV show. Not first black woman, first black person in history. So they tried to blacklist her again by putting her in the Red Channel saying she was a communist. She was like, I'm not a commie, y'all, but I'm sick of y'all. I'm out of here. Peace. And she went to Paris. A decade later, she moved back to the U.S. and continued to perform and record until her death in 1981. She's one of the most important figures of our time. Thank you, Hazel Scott. We won't let them erase you.
Well, shout out to this family of Hazel Scott. Yo, have you been listening and watching these Black History segments? They are powerful. We would have no idea that Black people meant so much to this American history than what these people put out, especially in school. They sure don't tell you about all these people. So I know Hazel Scott's family is really proud of who she was, and thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Well, good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, and it is Therapeutic Thursday, the day we talk about our health, whether it's mental health, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, financial health, some kind of health. We shout it out on Thursdays. Now, before we even get started, I got to say good morning to my viewers, but I don't know you're in the room unless you check in. So make sure you do so. Let's say good morning to our lady of the morning. Good morning, Katie. How are you? Thank you for joining us this morning. Terrence, good morning, all my kings and queens and my background crew we don't see. Oh, that's so cute. Yes, good morning. Good morning, Terrence. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Serge is in the house. Good morning, Serge. How are you? Glad to know you're in the room. We got our girl Vivian. Hey, Vivian. Good morning. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. We got our girl Tamika. Hey, Tamika. Good morning. So I'll be looking forward to seeing Tamika and Vivian and, see those faces in a little while when we start talking about this new stuff. Well, you know how we do over here on It's Due Time. Every Thursday morning, we get our health tip. So what are we talking about this morning? We're talking about some of the healthiest foods in the world, they claim. Yeah. Let's see. Make sure you got those pens and papers out because I keep telling you, you don't want to miss this. Leafy greens is the first thing on the list. Listen, they always talk about those leafy greens. We're talking about the healthiest foods on the earth. Wow. That's tall. That's a tall order. Yes, in this world, leafy greens comes up as number one. Well, they're always on the list. They say leafy greens such as spinach, kale, Swiss chard are nutritional powerhouses packed with vitamins A, C, and K, as well as minerals like iron and calcium. These greens are low in calories and high in fiber. They can help support your eye health, improve digestion, and reduce the risk of heart disease. While incorporating a variety of leafy greens into your diet can enhance meals with flavor and texture while providing essential nutrients. So make sure you go get those leafy greens. Yes, because they're one of the healthiest things to eat in the world. Berries, another one that stays at the top of the list. I don't care what you're talking about. If you're talking about the best foods, berries are always there. Yes, they say blueberries, strawberries, raspberries are among the healthiest fruits available. And they always say blackberries are the absolute best. Blackberries, and sometimes they say blueberries, but blackberries, they say, are really at the top of the list. They're rich in antioxidants, particularly the darker ones, yes, which can help combat oxidative stress. Weren't we supposed to find out what oxidative stress was? We gotta, next week, Monday, we're going to get that. Okay, God spares. Inflammation. Berries are also high in vitamins and fiber, making them a perfect snack or addition to smoothies, oatmeal, and salads. Okay, so if you want to improve your heart health and cognitive function, make sure you check out those berries. All right. Nuts and seeds, another one that stays at the top of the list. Nuts and seeds such as almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds are excellent sources of healthy fats, protein, and fiber. They contain omega-3 fatty acids, which are known to support brain health and reduce inflammation. All right. Nuts and seeds are versatile and can be easily incorporated again in some of your favorite dishes, some of your baked goods, and they are great for a snack option. Okay. All righty. Fatty fish. We're talking about some of the foods that are the best to eat in the world. That's what they say. Fatty fish is on this list. Salmon, mackerel, sardines are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for heart health and brain function. These are also a great source of high-quality protein and vital nutrients such as vitamin D and selenium. That's the word, selenium. I'm sorry. Regular consumption of this fatty fish has been linked to reduce heart disease, improve mental health, and enhanced eye health. Aim to include fatty fish in your diet at least twice a week. Quinoa. Whoa, that one came up as top of the list. We're talking about the best foods that you can eat in the world. Quinoa is a whole grain that has gained popularity, and it is complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids. Yo, that's crazy. Wow. Let me read that again. It is a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids. Wow. Well, quinoa is full of fiber, magnesium, and antioxidants, contributing to a better digestion and heart disease. I need to figure out how to make this quinoa because last time I made it, it was not good. So if this is going to be one of the top foods in the world, I need to figure out how to make that quinoa because I already eat all the other stuff. Greek yogurt. Wow. Okay. Greek yogurt is not only a delicious treat, but it is a nutritional powerhouse. Protein, calcium, probiotics that promotes gut health. And you can do a whole lot with Greek yogurt. Trust me when I tell you. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay. And finally, what's on that list? Sweet potatoes. Whoa. A nutrient-dense root vegetable packed with vitamins A and C, fiber, and antioxidants. Their natural sweetness makes those a versatile ingredient suitable for both savory and sweet dishes. The high fiber content supports digestive health, while the vitamins and antioxidants can help reduce inflammation and support immune function. So we're talking about the best foods in the world to eat. You got leafy greens, you've got berries, you've got nuts and seeds, fatty fish, quinoa, Greek yogurt, and sweet potatoes. All right, so go grab that stuff. Go grab it, go grab it, go grab it. Now, I actually have another list here. So just flip the page over because I was dying to see what was on this list. I came across this list of the seasoned salts you should never use. Now, I don't know what's on this list because I dared to look at it because I was like, no, I want to be surprised like everybody else. I don't even know if I've even heard of these seasoned salts. But we're going to find out right now, okay? So these are the seasoned salts that you should never use, they say. Ooh, Lawry's. Whoa, Lawry's seasoned salt, they say we should never use. They say it surely is, because my grandmama used to use Lawry's. Yes, the red salt with the white label. Yo, listen, back in the day, that's all they did use. Lawry's, regular salt, pepper, all the stuff we use these days, they didn't have all that stuff and their food tastes good. Yes, it did, but ooh, they say it is salty. Yeah, it is. It really is. When you use Lawry's, you don't use nothing else. They say in a quarter teaspoon, there are 380 milligrams of sodium. Now, they say Lawry's also contains sugar, artificial color, such as yellow Six Lake and cornstarch, none of which are necessary in basic spice blends. So they say try to limit this or don't use it at all. Okay. All right. Morton seasoned all season salt. Now, I don't know about the all season. Now, I know about the regular Morton salt, but I never heard of the all season, but it's on this list. They say a quarter teaspoon is 350 milligrams of sodium. And they say it's got tricalcium phosphate, calcium silicate, and anti-caking agents. They say it also contains paprika extracts for the color, and some unspecified spices. So if you find that Morton seasoned all season salt, don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. McCormick seasoned salt. Now listen, McCormick is another oldie. Yes, Lawry's, McCormick, they are straight old school. They say don't use McCormick seasoned salt in a quarter spoon of 360 milligrams of sodium. They say it contains sugar, paprika, turmeric for the color, as well as some natural flavors. And it also will send your pressure way sky high. So don't do it to yourself. Spice Supreme seasoned salt. Well, they got all the seasoned salt on the list. Which some I don't use these seasoned salts. These are the seasoned salts. Ain't nothing left. All right. They say that this is another one that, although it's budget friendly, they say it is heavy on the sodium. They say it contains MSG. Now, you know that's that agent that they claim can cause cancer. Artificial colors and chemical preservatives. They say the ingredient list for Supreme Spice Supreme seasoned salt is very vague. And they are wondering, what are you hiding? Wow. Badia complete seasoning. Yeah, you didn't seen it. That's that white label with the word Badia in the little ziggly thing. Yeah, I know that. I know the logo. Well, they say it's frequently used, but over 400 milligrams. Why wasn't this one the first one on the list? Because this one has the highest amount of milligrams of sodium in a quarter teaspoon. You realize how small a quarter teaspoon is? It's about that big right there. And there's 400 milligrams of sodium in that. That don't give you much allowance for the rest of your sodium in a day. Oh my goodness gracious. They say that it also contains MSG as a flavor enhancer. And you may not want to put that in your system. So those are the ones that they say stay away from. I'm still trying to figure out how many other seasoned salts are out there, but they say the salts to stay away from is Lowry's. Miss Kenny and Miss Charlene, y'all still using Lowry's? Because we probably the only three that's using Lowry's up in this chat room today. Yeah, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you still use Lowry's. Morton seasoned all seasoned salt. Do not use McCormick seasoned salt. Do not use Spice Supreme seasoned salt. And don't use Badia complete seasoning. Woo! Well, that show is some information for us today. We got the best foods in the world that we should be eating, and we got that seasoned salt that we need to stay away from. All righty. Yeah. Oh, she said, wait, why am I trying to read from there? Katie says, no, Lowry's too salty. Yes, I don't buy it. I don't buy it either. I leave it right in the store. I'm not buying all that salt. And I don't know about the rest of you. I don't use a whole lot of salt. You know, I may put salt in the water of like potatoes or pasta or rice, but very rarely do I use salt on the outside of my food, on top of my food, because it's really salty. It's like once you put salt on the top of your food, it's got to be doop, and that's it, because it just ruins the whole entire dish. Well, let's talk about our news. What are we talking about today? Well, let's see. All righty. Talk about some mental health. Boy, let me tell you something. Y'all want to stick in the show, especially today, because today we talk about some mental health issues. And remember, quite a few of those foods that we read earlier talked about. I want to make sure. Yeah, let me see. I want to make sure. Yeah, I'm going to keep that list up because I want to be able to go back and quote it. A lot of those foods talked about being good for our mental health. Yeah. So, man, we're going to talk about some mental health today. So, out in Las Vegas, Mama is going off the rail as there's a teacher who called one middle school age child slow. Man, well, that did not go well, as the mama, and they are not saying any names here, so, well, wait a minute. I think they did give a name. Let's see. We'll find out. We'll find out. Oh, I could have gotten this mixed up with another story. But yes, the mama got mad because the child told her that they called her slow, and there was a child in the school, in that classroom, who was also a part of the melee. Well, the teacher is the one that called the child slow, and baby mama went storming up in that school, threatened the teacher, told the teacher that I'm sorry, I will kill you. I will shoot and kill you. And you're not going to insult my child. And then turned to the student and threatened the student. Now, it didn't threaten to kill the student, but definitely threatened to kill the teacher. But definitely took the time to straighten out the student. Now, this is what makes me believe that it's on this side of the fence. Because, see, we're not going to go there and do half the job. So, in other words, I could see maybe a parent going up in the school and, shouting the teacher out, but they probably won't touch the kid. Now, if they turned around and spoke to the kid, yeah, that's us. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because we're going to make sure that we're going to get this done. They're going to remember I was here. So the reason why this also came up in the news is because the parent population, they've been asking for a fence to go around the school. Now, not that this has happened before, but definitely with all of the, shootings and things like that, like put the gate around the school. And now you better believe a gate gonna go around that school. They were already in the process of, I don't know, building the gate, or it was like just at the point of getting started. But now they're supposed to be, expediting that process. They did put a warrant out for the parent, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You can't go up in the school threatening a teacher. I'm sorry. Even if they did call your child slow. Yeah, listen, there have been some other things that have been said. So if you going to shoot them for calling the child slow, what you going to say when they say some other things? So, all righty. So that's mental illness number 1. All right. Let's see what else is going on here in this news. Well, Oscars is in the news. Now, here's the thing. I am so surprised at this process. Now, we've been talking about the fact that we can't figure out why those of us on this side of the fence who contribute greatly. Now, I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. They have been complaining for 97 years, because this is their 97th year. They have been complaining that we are not properly recognized. We could count on our hands how many people have been recognized on this side of the fence for an Oscar, right? Okay. So we keep saying, why complain? Go just start your own. Start your own. Well, after reading this, I'm like, y'all really lost your mind. Yes, it's a mental thing. Because do you realize that they are about to implement a rule that says that all the members must now watch all the Oscar nominees before voting? Did you hear what I said? That's the new rule that they're going to implement for next year's Oscars. If you are going to vote, you must have watched the nominee. What? So I was like, well, what they been doing? Guessing? Yo, off the hook. Off the hook. Yes. So here's how this goes. They have some type of device, and it's some tracker that's called the Academy Screening Room. And you can log in clearly. It's in an internal service where you can screen the titles. You can screen the titles and then vote. But up to this point, there has not been a mandate that you do screen the nomination. So you've just been voting. I'm done. I am so done. Because here's why I say I'm done. You mean to tell me you've been supporting a process like this? You go register. They pay thousands of dollars to be a part of this club. And you mean to tell me you knew that they weren't necessarily watching the movie? No wonder we're not being nominated. They're not watching our shows. They're not watching our movies. They're not screening us. So this is exactly why we don't get nominated, you dopes. What in the world is wrong with you? How can I be a part of something? How can I starve to be a part of something where this is the process? They don't even have to watch me. So you trying to figure out why you're not getting noticed? They're watching us? Stupid. I'm done. I am so done. When I read this last night, I was done. Well, I got to tell you, I wasn't the only one that was done. I was reading some of the comments, and the average world had no idea that this is what was going on. In my pea brain, I thought that you had to watch it. Yeah. Well, who wouldn't have thought that? But that's how it's going down. As of this year, you, after 97 years, you must watch before you vote. With all the clicks, with all of the what do you call it, jealousy, and with all the prejudice, you mean to tell me this wasn't part of the process, and you have been mad because they have not recognized you? So remember, we on it. What's that thing we got? My 2 cents. We talked about the fact, and we're doing our own My 2 Cents awards because we reviewed and watched all the nominees from last year's awards, and we weren't on there. Not one. Not one of a black or no, we were black and brown was not represented. No. What's her name? What's this with the one who says she's not Spanish? Oh my goodness, she was in quite a few things last year. Oh my goodness gracious. Amelia Perez, attorney. Can't think of her name. What's her name? Thank you. Zoe Saldana. She was probably the only brown person up in there who got an award. Well, now we see why. They're not watching our shows unless it's already infused with their people. I'm done. Y'all tell me whether that makes sense to y'all or not, because I was finished. All right, well, what else are we talking about here? Oh, we back to Carmelo Anthony, the track star. Yes. Listen, I'm going to follow this story here. Well, remember last week we talked about the fact that the judge on the case was dealing with some hatred and threatening they were threatening her. Well, now Carmelo Anthony and his family have had to relocate. Surprised? If the judge got to relocate, you better believe he's gonna have to relocate. So yes, so Mama is now in tears because they have strange people coming up to their door. They have threats, death threats. In addition to that, they have gotten mail of Austin Metcalf's funeral program. Yes, that has shown up in the mail. You know, let me tell you something. I said this last week and I say it again. They call us mentally ill. They call us mentally ill. Nah, they take the cake. They take the cake. They take the cake. This is what they do when they don't like what's going on. They are now torturing everybody who has anything to do with this. So if they did, like I said, if they did it to the judge, you better believe Carmelo Anthony and his family are not going to be happy. So yeah, Mama, keep on crying until you relocate out of that place. They have a ring, what is that? The Ring camera. They've got people walking up to the house, ringing the bell, leaving messages. Oh yeah, they off the hook. They off the hook. We got a shout out from Lee. Hey, nephew, what's going on? Good morning. Thank you so much for checking in. So yeah, they're not gonna sleep no time soon. No time soon. You know, well, listen, they figure if he's on house arrest, where you going? Yeah, we can harass you. Well, they've had to relocate altogether. So, oh boy, imagine going through this nonsense here. What else are we talking about in the news as we prepare to pull up the Due Time crew? What's happening here? All righty. Now I keep telling you, this is Mental Illness Day. The other morning we had, I forgot what Tamika and them named it. This Therapeutic Thursday, this is Mental Illness Day. And our main topic's going to push the mental illness. Well, there's a Florida woman who posed as an ICE agent and kidnapped the wife of her ex-boyfriend. Do we have anything else to do? Yes. Well, she showed up, this Florida woman, and I'm going to give you her name, but I'm going to give you her name after I tell you what she did. She showed up to the ex-boyfriend's wife's job, and she had on a black t-shirt with ICE across the front of it. She had a handheld radio with her, and she flashed a sheriff's office business card. Well, she got Mary Jones. I want to say Mary Jones. She showed her with a ICE shirt, handheld radio, let me make sure I say it right, her ICE business card. And she demanded to see Mary Jones. When Mary Jones came out, she told Mary Jones that she needed to come with her and that she was taking her to the sheriff's office, and there would be some other sheriffs and ICE agents waiting for her. All right. Well, she said due to her fear, this is the wife, due to the fear of being deported or having to be arrested, because she's getting her paperwork to be legal here. So she's filing for legal status here in the United States. So because she's fearful of, being arrested and deported, she decided to go along willingly. Because I guess unlike some of the other people who are being deported, she is at least filing and she's got her paperwork in order, right? Well, she kept driving around, and she never took her to the sheriff's office. She took her to some apartment complex. The woman who went and picked her up from the job She took her to the apartment complex, got out the car, went inside, and the woman, Mary Jones, escaped. And a neighbor saw her, or one of the residents, and held her in his apartment and called the authorities. Well, when she came out of the apartment, the ICE agent came out of the apartment. She was looking for. Have you seen 5'2"? Yeah. Well, by that time it was too late. The cops showed up and arrested her. So let me tell you that she is 53-year-old LaTrance Battle. LaTrance. First of all, I got to give it to you, girl. You got people so shook that they going with you. You ain't got no badge. All you got is an ICE business card. All you needed was a shirt. You ain't had the jacket. But you got her so shook. They said that when she was in the car, she was talking into the handheld radio. And she couldn't figure out who she was talking to. But she didn't ever try to get out the car. She did not seem suspect until she got out of the car and went inside and didn't come back right away. That's when she went suspect. You so shook, you go with anybody. Well, the woman called her husband and described the ICE agent. And the ICE agent was his ex-girlfriend. But I'm believing that this is somebody he was seeing while he was married. Well, he said that she had shown up. What's her name? LaTrance had showed up at his job a couple of months earlier, and he had to get a restraining order. This is another reason why I believe that she was seeing this man while he was married. Because why wouldn't you tell the wife? Why wouldn't you tell the wife, yo, my ex showed up at the job. She was cutting up. They had to call the cops, and now I had to go to get a restraining order, because you have to go to court to get that. Yeah. So you didn't been to court. You got a restraining order. This woman shows up at your job cutting up so bad that you had to go through that process, but you never told the wife. She already was mental when you were dealing with her. You didn't tell your wife about this mental ill woman? Nah, because you ain't think she was going to show up on her job. Yo, this is Mentally Ill Thursday. Where is my due time crew? Where's Tamika at? Girl. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm sane. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not mentally ill. How are you?
I was able to get my healthy breakfast going on while you were talking, so I'm doing good. I got that last corner. It's not chicken. I promise you, it's not chicken.
All right. All right. All right. Only Pastor KL is eating chicken first thing in the morning. We got a check-in from our girl, Teresa. Hey, Teresa. We got a check-in from our girl, Kiwi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for checking in. Wow. Tamika, this is Mentally Ill Thursday. What did you call Monday? I forgot. I think you named Monday.
I don't remember.
Yes, they've been cutting up all week.
Oh my
so
God.
Here we are. We've got, you got your choice between the mama that showed up at the school threatening the teacher for calling her child slow, or you've got the people who are threatening Carmelo Anthony, or you've got the woman who showed up at the job of her ex-boyfriend's wife. Which one you taking, girl?
I'm gonna take the slow for 2000.
Wow, Tamika.
I'm sorry. No, well, I mean, my thing is, you know that this woman done came up to this school. She done put her finger up in the teacher's face. She done started. She done rolled her neck. She done said all kinds of stuff, and then go back and then say something to the child. I thought that we had that covered. Whereas when you come into a school, you're supposed to sign in. There's a process. Anybody that has children or has access to children, I thought that the way that it worked, you weren't supposed to just be able to walk into a school. You're supposed to.
Right.
So I don't even understand how this woman got out there. And I know for a fact she caused the most ruckus because she had to go into the building. Where is she? She's clapping. Neck is rolling. Fingers are going in the face. I'm just visualizing the whole entire. I want to know, man. Somebody show me.
You know it.
She is the loudest thing there. So, and I can imagine, even in my day, I remember when my mom used to come to the school, I just be like, oh my God, no, please, not my mama. Not my mama, and this day, it doesn't matter what they look. She came in with her bonnet and her robe, her pajamas. I'm doing a Shantice today. I love you, baby. I love the way she paints a picture. I'm painting a picture today. She done came in her bonnet. She got on her PJs. She couldn't even sleep last night. She got on her fluffy slippers. Sorry. She done came in. She done made the loudest noise from the front entrance to wherever she had to go. If it's in the elevator or going upstairs, she made a ruckus all the way through. You hear boom, 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 boom. Did she get to the classroom? I'm sure the child was humiliated. But, the fact that, in the end, I'm vindicated because you doing this for me. But as a child, I can say, oh my God, my mama is here.
Yes, can you imagine?
And so you're going to have to put bars and alarms now because, just signing in is not doing it. You have to put bars.
No.
Are we going to have to put an electric fence on the outside of the school?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, I love the painted picture because I got to tell you, you didn't have to tell me what side of the fence she was on.
At all.
Like I said, once I heard she had then addressed the child.
Nobody can do it like we do it.
Nah, that's right. Because we're going to make sure everybody understand that I didn't came up to this school. And you know what, Tamika? I'm only coming up here one time. Everybody's going to know I was here. So that there, but I did not paint. No, when you said the bonnet, the robe, and the fluffy slippers, I'm mad. Because girl, once you said it, I then could imagine it. That was hilarious. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, let's see which craziness Shanti's gonna pick out today. Let's say good morning to our health coach, Athena. Good morning to you, Athena. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, good morning, Shantice.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. A little stuffy. I think some women throwing pollen around, but
All right, which one you taking? Are you taking mama showing up to the school, mental illness? Are you talking about the mental ill people who live near Carmelo Anthony who are now making their life a living hell? Or are you talking about the Florida ICE agent impersonator, mentally ill individual?
I want to talk about the impersonator. She was definitely the side chick and got mad that she got cut off and you got the nerve to cut me off. Meanwhile, your wife ain't got her papers. Are you dumb?
Ooh!
Are you dumb? Are you dumb? This is why.
Oh, y'all are in
know,
rare. Yo,
men
y'all are in
don't
rare
know how
form
to
this morning.
cheat. Men don't know how to cheat. How does just? I mean, she could have did her own research. But why does she know that your wife doesn't have her papers? You just all kind of sloppy.
Wow.
So now your side chick done went for a joyride with your wife. You lucky she ain't drive her to the border. Okay, probably the only reason why she didn't do that is because she probably would have had to show some credentials when she got to the border, because there are real agents there.
Okay,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying? With real weapons. See, she was too impulsive. She didn't have no gun, no nothing. So now I'm gonna go to the border with no weapon. That would have gave me away right there. I ain't got no bag. All I got is this vinyl shirt that says ICE. That's what she messed up. But you drop what you and you could tell she's a migrant, because an American, I could know I'm in the wrong. You telling me you come to pick me up? I could have shot my husband right in front of you. You telling me you come to get me? Let me see your warrants. I'm sorry, your badge number. I'm sorry. No, and you could have witnessed me committing the crime. There is no way you will, but because your papers are not in place, and because you know they're doing these random spontaneous pop-ups and tweets, now you shook. And come to find out, and let me tell you something. This is another way I know she's not an American. I find out your side chick kidnapped me, and you still here to tell the story?
Oh man.
You still alive? I would have got deported after I killed you at the border. What? And then I'd have been in court like, I'm sorry, Mr. Judge, sir, or Miss Judge, ma'am. Do you realize who kidnapped me? This wasn't no regular kidnapping. This was his side piece who took me. What would you do, ma'am? No.
Oh my goodness gracious. Y'all are in rare form today. The imaginations are straight running wild.
Because
I'm scared to hear what Vivian got to say.
I'm really trying to put myself in her plight. There's no way.
I'm scared to hear what Vivian and Pastor KL bring it to the table.
Let's talk about it Thursday. Let's do it.
Okay. Mentally Ill Thursday. Hey, Viv, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I am well, thank you. I'm well, thank you. Which mentally ill individuals are you going to talk about this morning? Are you talking about the mama that stormed up in the school? Are you talking about the mentally ill people who are just sending the Carmelo Anthony family into a tizzy, and anybody who's got anything to do with them? Or are you talking about the ICE impersonator?
ICE impersonator.
Uh-oh. Okay, what you got?
You can tell that she ain't on this side of the fence, because first of all, you could tell that she's a side piece, because if she wasn't a side piece, if she was actually an ex-girlfriend, you would have known about her and probably would have seen pictures of her before this. You knew nothing about her.
That's right.
Which shows me you ain't black, because we already on alert. We would have somehow found out that she was up at your job and you had to call the police and you had to go to court. We would have somehow found out. That wouldn't have been no new news to us. We would have knew that was her when she walked up on us and knocked on the door or came into the office and said, I'm an ICE agent. We would have already been on game. So
absolutely.
You had to have gone out with somebody on the other side of the fence who ain't got their papers, because there's no way you're getting past black women when it comes to our man.
Absolutely.
And we don't know nothing about you. Nothing about you. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Yeah. Woo-wee, the imaginations are running hot this morning. Oh my goodness. I'm scared to hear what Pastor K will bring it to the table. Excuse me, Bosley is bringing to the table. Good morning, Pastor Bosley.
Good morning, my angels. How are you today? How are you today?
Morning, Bosley.
Listen, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well.
All right. Who you picking? Which mentally ill set are you picking this morning?
I want to pick the mother who wanted to protect radio. That's who I want to pick.
The mother who what?
Who wanted to protect radio. You might be too young to know who radio was. But that's who I pick. First of all, I think the mother was mad that you found out radio was your child, and you was picking on radio. You know, the child didn't wear the helmet today. The child, listen, let's just be honest. The child was slow. You know, the child was slow, and the teacher, the shoe don't set you free. The child was slow, and the teacher said what it was. Now you offended because now not only you know your child slow, but we all know your child slow. So now you want to go in there and act like a Negro, and act foolish instead of putting the child in the class he or she belongs in, with that big yellow bus, so that he can get some extra help. And now you want to bully another child? Now, see me, if that was my child, I would have came in there and I would have had to hurt you and your slow child. Y'all would have both been slow. Y'all would have stopped.
Oh my. What a Bosley this morning.
Yes. Radio was a big guy. He was a big guy.
Goodness gracious. What a Bosley this morning. Oh my goodness gracious. This is when you look at the news, as I was surveying the news this morning, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, well, what kind of nonsense is this? Where we are, everybody's cutting up. Everybody's cutting up. And I'm saying to myself, well, do we even stand a chance at any sane people in the community? Because everywhere you turn, you've got issue. Everywhere you've turned. So last night, I couldn't figure out what we were going to talk about. And I was going through Instagram for our Black History. And I came across some video. Shantice, whatever video you want to put up first, please feel free to do so. Whichever one you want. Because all of these people got issues.
Yes, ma'am.
Michael V. Jordan.
Okay, why him?
Because he's hot.
Yeah?
And then...
Is that black guys?
No. I mean, just not my type.
Just him?
Yeah, he's hot. And
one of the good ones.
Yeah. And then, what's the president? Oh, I don't remember. Obama?
Yeah. What's Obama's first name?
Obama.
Okay.
What's his name? MLK? Martin Luther King Jr.
Who?
Martin Luther King.
Martin
Luther King Jr.
Is it Martin?
Michael.
Michael, yeah. Michael Luther King.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
That sounds like it got a ring to it.
No, that's
No,
it.
that ain't Michael.
Let's just go with it. Michael Luther King Jordan. Okay, and why him? What did he do?
He had a dream.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, about what?
His life.
Yep.
No, wasn't it congregation?
Congregation, girl, y'all are killing it right now. Oh my God. Okay, I'll give it to you. We out.
All right. So the question was, Who is your favorite Black person? That was a question. Tamika, who is your favorite Black person on that screen? Girl.
I'm so confused by the whole state. Like, first of all, I guess you're only calling out the names that you have, that have been publicized enough,
Right.
And then my thing is, you can't even get the name right. Martha? Michael. Michael Luther King. Let's vote for that. That works. Michael B. Jordan's been out there for a while, so of course, and you haven't been exposed to anything. And I guess you're just reaching for straws, because that's what that looks like to me. And then when he asked, what was Barack's, what was Obama's first name? They were like, Barack. No, they said, Obama. That's his first name. So you know nothing. A couple of names that came through. Okay, you're talking about Black people. Let me find the first, Black person that I could think of. Okay, Michael Luther King and Obama with no first name. Awesome. Great job.
Serge said what you just got finished saying, Tamika. How is your favorite Black person, yet you don't know the name?
Or right. What they've done. Nothing.
Right. So like you said, that was the first people that came to their mind because that was who was promoted and publicized more. He said, surprised I didn't hear them say Michael Jackson. Absolutely. Serge, good one. AJ says, I want to be a part of Michael Luther the King's congregation. Oh my goodness. Shantice, name your the question was, name your favorite Black person.
My favorite Black person is that guy who's standing there talking to them, because there's no way I would have been able to keep my composure the way he did. This just goes to show how much this confirms how much they do not teach Black history in schools, whether it's public school, private school, Catholic school, home school, homeless school, whatever kind of school. There is no Black history because it's not publicized enough that you don't even know Martin Luther. Who doesn't know Martin Luther the King? Who doesn't know? You ain't say Malcolm X. You didn't say. You need to be ashamed of yourself as a white person if that was your comeback for his questions. It just really confirms how they not only do they not teach it, but there's no real talk about the importance of Black history. That you would stand there with a Black person tonight and you laughing like this is a joke. Like this is funny. There's no shame in your responses. No. So he's my favorite Black person there because he held it together.
Viv, what say you with this question that was posed and how they responded?
People just do anything for social media. It don't matter how foolish they look. You could have just left it at Michael Jordan. You got that one right. You could have just left it there. You ain't have to go with now you want to go into the history and try to name Black historians. You ain't have to go that far. He said favorite Black person. So you could have just left it at that. But no, you want to go the extra mile and try to seem smart. And you calling names that you don't even know their names and don't know nothing about them, just making yourself look foolish. But she told the truth. He said, do you like Black people? And she said no. So she told the truth. She don't like him. She don't know nothing about him, but she just know Michael B. Jordan, because he's hot.
No, he asked her, does she date Black men? Like, does she like Black men? And she said no. Yeah, not Black people, Black men.
She don't like Black people either, according to them.
Right. You proved that you don't like Black people when you went further than Michael B. Jordan and started calling out Obama one name and Martin Luther.
And he had
What did she say? Right, about his life. Something about congregation.
No, about his congregation.
It's about the
Right.
congregation.
People just don't
He
care.
had a dream about his life.
People just don't care. They don't care no more. They just happy to be in front of a camera.
Wow. All righty. Pastor KL.
Yeah, I'm going for Martha and the Luther and the team. Martha had a dream to have a big congregation. That was his dream. I mean, it's just ridiculous how these light-skinned folks don't know us for real. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show that they're not teaching about us. You know, you can have a whole day off, and you just took the day off. You don't know nothing about Martha. It was just a free day of school. That's all.
Oh my goodness. Anika says, the privilege of not having to know anything about other races. And Serge says he knew that they were dumb. He knew who to ask. He knew exactly. I agree with Serge. He knew exactly who to ask. Oh my goodness.
And I guarantee you that interview was done at Walmart. That's the best place. If you're going to find anything, it's at Walmart.
Oh my goodness gracious. Somewhere where he found those two dodos. Shantice, next video, please. We're up to Mental Illness Therapeutic Thursday.
This clock say 2:55. Explain your theory.
Okay, so when my teacher said when the clock...
You keep saying what your teacher said. What your teacher say?
When the number is right, when the big hand is right here and the small hand is right here, when the big hand is right here, it pulses it's not 2 o'clock, it's 1 o'clock.
Z, the hand is literally, that don't matter. The hand is literally on the 2. It's 2:55. Okay, I'm gonna ask Facebook and we're gonna see I'm gonna ask Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram. We're gonna see who right. Okay? All right. And I'm gonna ask your teacher.
Then call.
Okay, so the little hand is on the 2 and the big hand is on the 11. What time is it? So the child is doing his homework or her homework, and mama is telling the child that it is 2:55, and the child says it's 1:55. Shantice.
The way I was taught in the public school that my mother put me in, that's 1:55. When the little hand is on the number and the big hand, you count by the 5s, because if that's 2:55, wouldn't the smaller hand be closer to the 3? I mean, that's what I was taught in the public school that my mother put me.
She's helping with homework.
The mother's helping with the homework.
The mother is helping with the homework.
Right. So from what I learned, the child is right. Because the child says 1:55.
What say you about mama helping with homework, but she can't tell time?
Mama was put in the wrong public school. Or she looked like a millennial mama. Well, she looks a little young, but us millennials look young. A lot of these millennial parents didn't finish school themselves, unfortunately. And then they have kids, and now the kids need help with homework. I can't help you with something I ain't learned. Forget. See, it's different when they come to us with the homework and the teachers mandate that they do it a specific way. And we sitting here like, okay, listen, I don't know what Applejack's DOE is on right now, but we did it real simplistic back in my day. You carried a 1 and bam, you got the answer. Now they need you to have 5 pages worth of work to show how you got to the answer. We don't need to do all that. But yeah, a lot of the times these parents didn't finish school themselves. So wow.
Kiwi says exactly at Walmart to what Tamika said. I was going to carry that over and go, that's where the mama learned how to tell time.
Right.
At Walmart. All right. Serge says, oh no, not the Ask Facebook. And Kiwi says, what? Change the whole mother. Absolutely. Tamika, what say you? Mama teaching homework. Mama helping with homework.
So now we're trying to figure out why Quaisha always late for work.
Quaisha. Goodness gracious.
Oh my goodness. Vivian, what's going on here, girl?
Again, you just don't care how you look on the internet. The fact that you had to bring this to Facebook to debate whether your child was right or whether you were right just proves that you got it all wrong. Like, what?
Yes.
You couldn't just go and just teach her the proper way. You had to bring it to Facebook to see who was right and who was wrong. That means you don't know it. Because if you knew it, you would be able to just tell her, no, baby, this is how you do it. This is the right answer. But you had to take it to a Facebook debate in order to help this child with her homework. It's so sad. It's so sad. Now, I know as the kids are growing up in these generations, the older generations just can't keep up with the way they're changing the way schoolwork is done nowadays. Because the way they go about simple math is just absolutely ridiculous to me.
That's what I'm saying.
But telling time don't nothing change about that. So you just child.
But here's the thing: she got mad because she kept quoting the teacher. You can't say what the teacher said. No, you need to attend class.
I want to say
and hear what the teacher said. Wow, Pastor KL, it's 2:55. What's wrong with you?
Radio had a baby. That's the bottom line. Radio had a baby. You know, and then radio said, I'm gonna talk to your teacher. The daughter said, you can call her. Cause I know you the idiot. I know you the idiot. Go ahead and call her. You man. So now you look stupid in front of me, your child. Now you're gonna look stupid in front of the teacher. My teacher ain't sending no more homework home with me for you. No more. You can't even tell time. Radio turned into a generator. That's all I know.
Oh my goodness gracious. Terrence says he laughed and told her to call the teacher. It is mine, Mama, you dumb. It's true. It's true. Because they got to call her and see who looks like the bigger fool.
Wait, Mama, what time you calling? What time you calling the teacher? Let me know what time you calling so I can make sure we're on this call.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. We got another couple of ones coming down the pipeline. What you got, Shantice?
I do all that stuff. And all I did, I asked you for your birthday money. So
is she in the wrong here?
You don't want to give me the birthday money. So I am taking the PS5 back so I can get the money so the bill can be paid. When I come to you as a mother and I'm telling you there's an issue where I need help, you help.
You need to play that again. We need to catch the beginning. Please.
I
want to make sure they
all the stuff I do for you as a mother. I take care of you. I feed you, I cook, I do all that stuff. And all I did, I asked you for your birthday money. So
is she in the wrong here?
You don't want to give me the birthday money. So I am taking the PS5 back so I can get the money so the bill can be paid. When I come to you as a mother and I'm telling you there's an issue where I need help, you help.
Vivian.
I'm just as confused as the little boy in the backseat. It's wow. This is what happens when you don't have a father figure in the house, and then the mother turns to the children to be the man in the house. Because why would he ever have to give up his birthday money? Because why does he owe you for being a mother? All the stuff I do for you, I feed you, I clothe you, and now I owe you something for doing what you're supposed to do? But that's Black parents. That's why we grew up with light bills in our names. That's why we had bad credit before we even knew what credit was. Because it's just too much being put on the child at such a young age. I mean, I understand the wanting to teach your child, you know, if you see a need, blah, blah, blah. But that's just too much to put on him at such a little age. It looked like he probably on his way to school, and now he going into the school day with this on his mind. It's just too much. It's too much. And then again, you record yourself to put on the internet to show what? To show how dumb you are? I don't understand these people.
Tamika, let's grab you real quick.
I don't get it. How you punishing it? When we were young, a child's job was simply just to be a child. You know, where does it get off? You taking his birthday money. That was stuff that people gave him as a gift. And if he doesn't give you the birthday money, then you figure that you're going to solve it by selling or pawning his item. Okay, so I guess this is a process that you do all the time. You know, you do stuff with your stuff. You pawn this, you get it back next week. I know people that have done that. You know, they pawn something, they put it in a pawn shop. Next month, they pull it back out. You know, but this is horrible. Why would you traumatize this child? The look on his face is the same way that I look. Like, what did I do? You know, because to me, that seems like punishment for just being alive. Hey, I didn't ask to be here. Now all of a sudden you're taking the gifts, my birthday money, which is a gift, and this item, which is a gift. I didn't buy it. You know, how horrible to traumatize a child for you not coming up for what needs to be done. You know, back in the day, they just figured it out. That's what you're supposed to do. Figure it out. Let a child be a child for as long as a child possibly can. There's too many things going on attacking our children now, and you going to help them. Horrible.
All right, Shantice, what say you?
The little boy probably planted a hidden camera and said, I want to record her so I can show her how bugged out she sound when she be coming at me like this. And it wasn't his first. He didn't look all that taken aback. This ain't the first time she done came at him like this. And first, you talking about pawning his PSI. You probably couldn't afford it when you bought it, ma'am. So now that's his fault. Now that's his fault. Now you talking about you need to pay a bill. So like Lady Tamika said, the birthday money, he doesn't look like he's even past the 3rd grade. He doesn't need to understand any concept of bills. He doesn't need to understand any concept of anything on that level. Outside of, you're not going to always hear yes from mommy or from people. That's as far as it needs to go for a child that age. Other than that, whatever I'm struggling with is my struggle. You are not in junior high school. You are not in high school. That is so disgusting for you to let it be known that you expect him to take a blessing that was given to him, because I can guarantee you're mismanaging your money. That's why you need his birthday money to pay a bill. Because I would lay my life down and say she couldn't afford that game system when she bought it for him. Because that didn't sound like she's pawning a game system that the father or the grandmother or somebody else bought for him. I bought it, so it's nothing for me to now take it and go sell it. It's horrible. And they wonder why these little boys grow up to be men, and this is how they treat the women that they dealing with. Because this is how mommy treated me. It's
wow. Well, we're about to lose Viv, so we want to give you an opportunity. If you got anything else that you want to add, feel free.
I just want to say, please stop recording yourself trying to prove a point only to make yourself look dumb. That's all this was. It's not even mental health. It's just stupidity. Like, everything that was filmed was, I don't believe that little boy set up no hidden camera, because the camera was in the front of the car. How he reached past her to hide the camera and she ain't see, she put that camera there because she thought that she was doing something right. Please stop recording yourself to prove a point only to make yourself look stupid.
All righty. Thank you so much for your contribution. And we pray you have a blessed day, Viv.
Thank you. You as well. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Pastor KL, what say you?
I mean, back in my day, I know I'm with the dinosaurs, but, my mom and father used to say, whatever happens in the house stays in the house. Everybody didn't have to know your business and know the decisions that you're making with your children, especially when you're making bad decisions. That's not a good decision. You got to contribute to a bill. I can't even get a paper route. I can't mow no lawn. I mean, what? How am I going to? What am I going to do? The only thing I can do is go into the store, convenience store, steal a bag of chips, and we'll have chips together. Now you got me into a world of crime. I mean, what's my contribution is going to be? First of all, you didn't have no money, so you didn't give up all this money for these gifts. This child only turns however he turns once a year. He was looking forward to his birthday. Now maybe he want a G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. He can't buy it because you messed up your money. Now you want to blame me that we can't eat because I can't give him my birthday money. No, we might not be able to eat, but I can. I got
money. Wow. My goodness gracious. Kiwi says, what? Wow. Wait. This thing is jumping all over the place. These moms are beyond sad. Terrence says, wait. She's asking that little man for his money other people gave him, and he don't have a job. It looks like she was on the phone. I'm lost like him. Anika says, my goodness. AJ says, I can tell time because I got slapped with the big and short hand.
Why is he like this?
But not only that, why is he so behind in the conversation?
Because it took him a while to type this out.
Oh my God. This is why they shouldn't have
radio.
Oh my goodness gracious. This is why they shouldn't have taken prayers out of school, even though Tamisha didn't finish school anyway. Sir says she wasn't the one that brought it. That's the reason why she's willing to sell his PS5 and take his birthday money. That's crazy. And Tara says, and I bet you the birthday money was only $25. She wanted gas.
I'm saying something so minor.
Oh my goodness gracious. Shanti, she got one more for us. Please. Mental Illness Thursday.
5 books in the Bible.
You should have asked her that.
I don't even know why I asked that. I knew you didn't know.
Walk by faith, not by sight.
What?
I can't answer that. 5 books in the Bible. The Bible is a book. The book of Paul. Hi, I'm Paul. I'm not religious. Genesis, Leviticus, Job, Psalms.
Who?
Psalms. Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy, Genesis.
Not including the first 5.
Leviticus, Deuteronomy. None of books.
Okay.
Theologians.
Who?
You got John, you got Psalms, and you got Corinthians.
2 more. Hold on. Jobs. Hold on. Jobs.
Job, Corinthians.
Yeah.
Psalms.
Jeremiah, John.
Is David one?
Ezekiel.
I don't know the first five, but Psalms, Revelations, Euphrates, something like that, Euphrates.
Absolutely not.
Oh, God forgive me, but God forgive me, but I don't know that one, baby.
The question was, name 5 books in the Bible that don't include the first 5 books. Play that again.
Oh.
Wait. Brother Al is on. So we got name the first 5 books of the Bible that don't include the first 5 books.
Are we
now
gonna get
play
his
the
rap?
video.
Are we gonna get his rap?
Now play the video.
Okay. Why he grinning already? Okay.
Who in the first 5? Please name 5 books in the Bible.
You should have asked her that.
I don't even know why I asked that. I knew you didn't know.
Walk by faith, not by sight.
What?
I can't answer that. 5 books in the Bible. The Bible is a book. The book of Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm not religious.
Genesis, Leviticus, Job, Psalms.
Who?
Psalms.
Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy,
Genesis.
Not including the first 5.
Leviticus. Deuteronomy.
None of us.
Okay.
Theologians.
Who? You got John, you got Psalms, and you got Corinthians. 2 more. Hold on. Jobs. Hold on. Jobs.
Job, Corinthians.
Yeah.
Psalms.
Jeremiah, John.
is David one?
Ezekiel.
I don't know the first 5, but Psalms, Revelations, Euphrates, something like that, Euphrates.
Absolutely not.
Oh, God forgive me, but God forgive me, but I don't know that one, baby.
Brother Al, good morning.
Chop of the morning, chop of the morning. I had a few minutes. I said, let me jump on real quick.
Just in time, Brother Al. What do you think of the video? We're up to Mental Illness Thursday. What do you think of the answers that were given by the public when they were asked for 5 books of the Bible, not including the first 5 books?
Man, it was crazy. I mean, yeah, some knew a couple of them, but what was killing me, the guys were saying job. And the other guy, he was just so strong-minded with it. He got about 3 drinks in his hand. He named it. Man, it just crazy. It just shows, people don't look at it. Don't look at the Bible.
Absolutely.
I heard a lot of Genesis. I heard a lot of people saying Genesis. Yeah. Everybody knows Genesis. He said, but that's not. He said not the first 5. Because if he'd asked me, I'd have been like, Abraham was the father of Isaac. Isaac was the father of Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons for real, and these were the children of Israel.
Oh my goodness gracious. Shantice anticipated we would get that rap this morning. Shantice, what do you think of those answers?
Just like the 2 little light-skinned girls who knew Michael Luther King. Had he asked, name me 5 whiskeys, they would have had that down pat. First of all, I loved his microphone, by the way. I loved it. But it was just like when she said the Bible is a book, girl. And we those of us who are in the Lord understand that, memorizing the books of the Bible and having that down pat, that ain't gonna get you into heaven. At the same time, it just goes to show your attentiveness and your knowledge on God's word. Euphrates, theologians, what?
But had he asked, give me 5 of your top favorite drinks, you'd have been able to spit that out, whether you were sober or drunk. It's horrible.
Wow. Pastor KL.
I think y'all all misunderstood. I think they asked for the hidden books. You know, these were the hidden books of the Bible that was tucked away. You know, I've heard of theologians, you know, in the book of theologians and Euphrates and stuff like that. Those are the hidden books. You know, in fact, if you come on Zoom on Sunday, I'll be speaking out of the book of Euphrates, and there'll be a word from the Lord. but it's just so crazy that you know, people pray to God and they love God, and I know God, but you don't know nothing He's saying. You don't know nothing He's representing, but you know God.
Wow. My favorite was walk by faith, not by sight.
Yes, that's a book.
That was a whole book. That was a book in the Bible. Tamika.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the segment, but I just going based on what Pastor KL said. People will get a segment of just a little whiff of something. Family that prays together stays together. That's in. Somebody please tell me where that is, because it's not in there. Or they're reading from the book of Habakkuk. That's where they're coming from.
For songs.
Absolutely.
Wait, how about the book of Sam's? Where's Sam's? The book of let's go.
And the book of David.
Or the book, right? Or the book of Paul.
Well, Paul had a whole book.
Yeah. So Sam's had a book, David had a book, and Paul had a book. Yo,
you might as well put KL in there. KL in there. We're putting books.
Here's the thing. It looked like, it was where they were serving alcohol or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter whether they were drinking or not drinking. Once it's ingrained in you, you don't forget. Brother Al, how do you want to respond? Once you learn it, you just don't forget it.
Oh, there we go. I got lost up and say, I'm sorry, ask it again. I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
It says, I was saying that it looked like, a couple of them had some drinks. He was asking this at nighttime in a club or wherever, a lounge or wherever. I said, but there were others where you could tell there was no drinking environment. They were outside. I said, so whether you're drinking or whether you're not drinking, once this has been ingrained in you, you don't forget. I said, how would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, I think once it's ingrained in you, like you said, it's something that you don't forget. Because I remember being drilled myself. With the first 5 books, I used to mess that all up. I used to mess that all up. But then it was drilled though, because I got tired of saying, okay, you know what? Let's go back and you're gonna read it again. Let's go back. I said, you know what? Let me learn this and put it in order. And then when you think about it, if I can learn everything else, I can learn these songs, I can learn these dances, I can learn the Bible.
All righty. Pastor KL, once you've learned it, you don't forget it, even under the influence.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Brother Al has proved that. He don't have to be drunk to say that rap, because he's learned it. He don't have to be under the influence, because it's already in him. You know what I mean? I mean, that's something you would think he's in a drunken stupor every time he says it, but he's sober. So once it's in you, once you learn the scriptures and learn what you want to learn, it's in you. Don't come back now, Al. Don't come back, Al.
I heard what you said. I heard what you said.
Oh, goodness gracious. Shantice, once you've learned it, whether you're intoxicated, whether you're sober, it's ingrained in you. You do not forget it.
Listen, I used to give a good word at the bar at TJR Fridays during happy hour after work. So yes, you can be tipsy, you can be drunk, you can be sober. Once it's ingrained, it's there. Well, one of the verses that just came to mind was, where your treasure is, there your heart is also. And that's why they don't know it, because the word of God is not treasurable to them. Those drinks are, though. That's why they be able to give. Which new flavor of Ciroc just came out? Bam, I got it. They'll be able to get that because that's where their treasure is. That's where their heart is. But regardless of whatever state of mind, and again, I find it, really amazing. It's not only with the word of God, but since we're talking about that now, anything that's embedded, regardless of, even if your mind is altered by a substance, you're still going to be able to tap into that. And nobody there, for the record, looked drunk, so no one had an excuse. Even with the drinks in their hand, everyone seemed 100% coherent. Like they understood what they were being asked, because some of them gave a disclaimer before they answered. Like, I don't know the first 5, but here's what I do know. And isn't this one, or, so that's not how you respond if you're drunk. So yeah, regardless of your state of mind, you're going to always be able to tap into the word of God.
No matter what my state of mind is, I know Pastor Steph owed me about $5.
Oh, and this is why you don't get much mic time. This is how you shake the mic. Brother Al, before you go, it's good to have you on this morning. What word would you like to give our viewers before you go?
It's about a certain thing, or just
anything regarding whatever you picked up on today.
Oh man, stay embedded in the Lord. I would say that, stay embedded in the Lord. 'Cause you see all this craziness that's going on, and let him guide you. You can't go wrong with the man upstairs guiding you. Because it's just the enemy is guiding these people to the wrong spot. So we got to stay prayed up and let the Lord guide us. So I would say guidance and patience. Be patient. It don't happen on your time. It happens on God's time, and He's always on time.
All righty. All right. Very good. Thank you so much for that word. Shantice, is Pastor KL gone?
I think so. No, he's not.
No, he's not. Pastor KL, how would you like to, well, you know what? Shantice, how would you like to leave our viewers today? Based on everything we talked about today, you can go to any direction you like to go.
I like to go back with highlighting that verse. I don't remember exactly where it is in the Bible, but Google it. It'll let you know. Where your treasure is, there your heart is also. That goes with not knowing how to tell time. Your heart ain't with knowing how to tell time. You don't care nothing about that. Knowing the books of the Bible, knowing how to address when a teacher or another staff member addresses your child. Knowing how to deal with something that you deem unfair, as far as these sick people tormenting Carmelo Anthony and his family. Your heart continues to be exposed through your actions or lack thereof. So pay attention to what you deem important. And God spoke to us about priorities earlier this week. So that way you can understand where your heart is. And when God shows you that your heart is all kinds of out of order, you can then go back to Him and ask Him to help you put it in order. Because just paying attention to this set of content that Pastor Steph brought up this morning, it just shows that everyone's treasure is just, is just all off kilter.
All right. Thank you for that word. Pastor KL, what would you like to leave our viewers with today?
Well, I like to say, we talk about doing things in decency and in order in all the things that we do. Even if your child, let's just say that your child was wrong with telling time, it's up to us to teach and to coach, not to embarrass, not to put on Facebook and see what Facebook says about it. Let's talk about it. If your child came home and said that my teacher said I was slow, let's find out why my teacher said I'm slow. Let's not go up there and want to fight the whole school and fight the whole committee. We need to work together. Perhaps the child took it out of context, and the teacher didn't mean it that way. Let's give the teacher the opportunity before you start clapping off. Everything has to be in decency and in order. And then learn the word for yourself. You can't know God without knowing his word. You can't say I love the Lord and you don't know his word. It just does not walk hand in hand. You can't love me and don't know me. What is it about me that you love about me? What is it about God that you love about God? Is it just a thing that you heard about him? So you loving someone through someone else's testimony. What has he done for you?
Amen.
Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you, my Due Time crew, for coming through as always, and your contribution into today's conversation has been great. We pray you have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.
You as well.
All righty. Let's see what these comments say before we sign up out of here. Sir says, I like the last one. She asked for forgiveness. Nigga says, child. What about the Bible is a book? Sir says, the word and not the answer by saying it's a book. Terrence, I thought no one would get not one right. They all were at a party drinking. Not a good time to ask questions. The book, walk by faith, not by sight. Absolutely. And what about the book of Rebecca, says Serge. Let's get this benediction. Oh, the depth of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments and how inscrutable his ways. For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be glory forever. Amen. Romans 11:33 and 36. Wow. We started off with the two young ladies being asked who their favorite Black person was. And you could tell they're young. Tell they're young. But very sad to see that they could not quote a name. They couldn't say a name. They couldn't get it. Just the initial, there was a delay even in the initial answer. And finally, she looks over at her friend and says, what's his name? Michael B. Jordan. He says, well, would you date Black people? A Black guy? Are you into them? She said, no. And she said, he's hot. He says, why you pick him? He's hot. We don't know why they don't know. We say they don't teach this in school. Well, Barack Obama was the president during their lifetime. And, we might be able to give some excuses for some things. But when they asked, well, what's Obama's first name? They couldn't even say it. It was Obama. We're lost. We're lost as a young group of people. We're lost. Why are we lost? Well, let's go to the second video. The second video is we're lost because parental guidance sometimes is just non-existent. It wasn't until maybe about 10 years ago that I realized that they don't teach analog clock. Well, they've gone back to it clearly, because at one point all these children knew were digital readings. They did not know what an analog clock would even read. And when I would call out, okay, 10 to 5, quarter after 1, they were like, what is that? And I was like, not my 3. Not my 3. I had a lesson for learning how to tell time. And I've told that story here before. So there ain't no way I would ever forget how to tell time on an analog clock. And it was not any abusive tactic. It was just memorization, understanding. They taught you how to make sense of it. My parents together taught us how to tell time, but there's no guidance. Who taught her? Well, clearly, wherever she learned from was not the way. So parental guidance is, not existent, which is what I thought about in the first video. Where are your parents that you don't know Martin Luther King Jr.? So even whether they're talking about it in the school or whether they're not talking about it in school, it's talked about at home. What did he dream about? His life. No, the congregation. So you see, the first 2 videos is a mixture of just a straight mess. A straight mess. All these videos show that we're just not up to it. We're not up to par. And that was the saddest thing. When you partner them up with the news this morning, boy, mental illness, Shanti and Pastor KL, boy, you want to set them off. Talk to them about the mentally ill. Sad. This is why we need Jesus. People say, oh, you keep bringing it back to God. Yes. Because let me tell you something, and I'm going to be real with you. It's already difficult when you're in the Lord. Oh my goodness. Life is difficult in the Lord. I was reading something when I was ordained to be an evangelist. I was doing some research. And one of the things they tell you is be careful of how you present God to people. Be sure you do not present God, in the light of, well, once you accept the Lord, life is going to be good. There ain't going to be nothing for you to worry about, because that's why people buck and run once they accept God, and now life hits them on that side of the fence. Because there are people who believe that once you choose the Lord, boy, your life is gravy. You ain't going to have no problems. Well, we talked about it this week about making bad decisions, even when you have the Holy Spirit within you. You can quench the Holy Spirit. You don't have to follow what the GPS that Brother Al was just talking about. And the reason why I keep saying seek God is because even with God, you can make some of the worst decisions. Even with God, there'll be some things that you just don't know that you have to learn, but you will be called on before you even learn it. Ooh. So if that's what it is with God, what is it without God? One of the things that, they teach us to nail is once you take God as your personal savior, you can actually endure anything. That's the key. It's not given to the swift or to the strong, but the one that endures to the end. You can weather any storm once you're in the Lord, because the storms are going to come. But can you weather the storms? How do you weather the storms? And one of the things that I really am very hard on Christian people. How do we present God? And I think I've been saying this all week because, again, there seems to be this major breakdown. We're looking at a group of people from the news all the way through the videos. We don't know their walk in life. We don't know if they have the Lord. But we do know that there's a major flaw in their life. Major flaws is what we saw. We saw a whole group of people, which were young people, that could not even quote. Not one of them could quote all 5. There was one who got 3, and when he asked for 2, he went to job. Epic fail. Epic failure. So this is why Pastor Steph keeps coming back to seek God for your life. Your life is nothing without God. And if we didn't see it today, we haven't seen it at all. From the news all the way up until we finished and the Due Time crew got off this screen, we kept seeing how much we've got to grab onto God and don't let go. Because see, God is not going to let go of us. We let go of God. And we need God in every aspect of life. That's another reason why the videos were so vast. Because whether you're this age, whether you're this color, whether you have this background, whether you're taught this or not, you need God. You need a sense of direction. You need something that is going to walk you through. We cannot pick God up and put him down as though we can use him today and not use him tomorrow. Yep, I need you today, but I can't. I'm on my own tomorrow because I got this thing figured out. We need God every way, every direction, every moment of the day. And this is why I continue to push, choose God and choose him first. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping us do what we do. Boy, this chat room was live this morning, and we love it. We love it. We love it. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Please do not miss this opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because strengthening the relationship with the Lord will let you know where you're wrong and where you're right. Ladies, not promised to any of us. We can't walk around like these people up in these videos, right? Right. Well, until tomorrow, God spares, where it's Freestyle Friday, and we get to do whatever it is we want to do. We'll talk to the men is what we do. Until then, I love you.